Good morning. Anybody please respond? Students respond. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So today we're going to start your first class about the storage area network. Actually, in the orientation class only, I explained regarding the syllabus and all. So let me go through with our storage area network syllabus again. Okay. So the students who are not attended the orientation class of our storage area network, so that let them so go through with the syllabus. So the storage area network so is the 17 CS 754. So we have the syllabus of storage and network. So as follows. So before that, let us understand. So what is this? The storage area network. So the storage network are primarily used to access the storage devices such as the disk array, then the tape, then libraries from servers, so that the device appear to be to the operating system as a direct attached storage. Okay, so as you can see here, so the main aim or main intention of our the storage area network. Okay, so the storage is there, then area is there, and we have this network also. Okay, the direct attachment storage. Okay, so to the operating system, so we are directly attaching all the storage devices. Okay, so that is the main intention of storage area network. So we have one small diagram given, so for this storage area network, so where, so how the different networks of our computer systems are connected. Okay, so we have the client messages. So for our client messages, we have this client access LAN is there. Then after that we have this the applications. Okay, so then we have this storage devices. Okay, so to the storage device there is a connection called storage area network, so which is called as a SAN. So it is used in between these application and the client systems and with the storage devices. Okay, so the major work of our storage area network, so it comes in between the client and the storage devices. Okay, so this is our storage IO, the operation what we perform. Okay, the IO operation, so that is indicated by this the arrow symbols as you can see here. So this is one small diagram about the storage area network. If I go to the syllabus part of your storage area network, so already I explained. Okay, so once in the last class, so let us uh, go. Okay, so in detail. Okay, so again, so about the syllabus of our storage area network, the first module. So as I explained, the first module is completely about storage system. So it's not new to the students or to the 7th sem students. So yeah, what is this a storage system is? Okay, so already we studied. So what is the storage system? So but still, so as an introduction to the storage area network subject, so we're going to understand about the storage system in the module number one. Okay, so in the module number one, we study about the storage system and introduction to the evolution of a storage architecture. Okay, so please understand here the storage architecture we are talking. Okay, so we are not talking about the storage system. Okay, so there is a lot of difference between the storage system and the storage architecture. Okay, the storage architecture explains, okay, so in detail about how this storage system is built. Okay, so that is a main concept. Okay, that is a main thing here. Okay, in the storage architecture, so that we're going to study, and also we study about this key data center elements. Then what is this virtualization and the cloud computing. Okay, so what is the role of cloud computing, so inside the storage area networks, that is also we're going to understand. Then key data center elements. Okay, so what are the key elements in the data center, like the host computer, like connectivities, like a storage. Okay, then application in both classic and virtual environment. Okay, so what is our classic environment and what is the virtual environment? Okay, so what are the difference? Okay, so that applications which we use in the classic and virtual environment, that also we're going to study. And also we study about this RAID. Okay, so that will study. Okay, so what is this RAID and our implementation, then techniques, then other levels along with the impact of RAID and application performance, then components of intelligent storage system and virtual storage provisions. Okay, then intelligent storage system implementation. Okay, so all these things, so we study in the storage system. So that is your module number one. Okay, so module number one is completely about a basic of a storage system. So inside the storage area network. Okay, so please don't compare the storage system of the uh, things. Okay, so which you studied in the previous semesters. Okay, that is totally different. And so in the storage system of this storage and network is totally different. Okay, so it is a bit advanced kind of a thing. Okay, so where we understand about virtualization, about cloud computing, about the storage architecture, about the RAID implementation. Okay, so many things are there. Okay, that all things we cover in the first module. Okay, so if I go for the module number two, okay, so it is about the storage and networking technologies and virtualization. Okay, so as you can see here, the second module name is a storage networking technologies. Okay, so we are stressing about, or we are trying to understand more about the technology in the networking. Okay, so inside the storage area network. Okay, and not only that, so we also trying to understand about what is the role of virtualization. Okay, so what is the importance of virtualization inside the storage area network. Okay, so that we're going to study in the model number two. So where we going to study about the fiber channel SAN. Okay, its components, then connectivity options, then topologies, including access protections, then what are the mechanisms used for access protection, then what is FC protocol stack, then addressing and operations. What are the different operations? Then SAN based virtualizations, then vSAN technology. Okay, then ISCSI and FCIP, that is fiber channel over IP. Okay, so all this thing we cover. So inside the storage network technology and virtualization. So which is a model number two. So then also we study about this network attached storage. What is this network attached storage means? Okay, so a little bit about network attached storage. Okay, how it works, what are the different components, what are the different protocols, then what are the different operations we can perform, then storage virtualization. So all these things we cover in the module number two. So that is your module number two. If I go for module number three, so the module number three, it is about a backup. Okay, so what is this backup means? Okay, so as we know that, so the storage area network. Okay, so why we implement or why we use this storage area network, so inside the computer system, it is purely because we are trying to communicate with a huge amount of a storage. Okay, so it is totally working with a huge amount of storage devices. Okay, which is there inside the computer system. Okay, so for that, so what is the network we are using? Okay, so that is called as the storage area network. Okay, so because of that, so we should understand. Okay, so also about the backup, about the replication, and about the archiving of the data. Okay, so all these three topics we cover in the module number three. So first topic or first module is completely about introduction. Second module is completely about networking technology and virtualization. Okay, so which we use inside the SAN. And third topic is third module is about the backup. Okay, then archiving of a data, then after that replication of a data. Okay, so why we need to take a backup, what is the technology behind, then what is the replication of a data means, what is the technology, then what is the archiving of a data means, what is the technology. Okay, so this is the module number three. This unit focus on information availability and business continuity solutions in both virtualized and non-virtualized environment. Okay, so there are two different environments now. Okay, so one is virtualized environment and one more is non-virtualized environment. Okay, it is focused. Okay, so this unit is completely focused on information availability and business continuity solutions. Okay, so in the virtualized environment, how the information is available, in the non-virtual environment, how the information is available. Okay, so we are mainly focused on the data, the information, so which is there the two different environments. Okay, so that is, so we are talking, okay, in this module number 3, so on how the data is we are taking a backup of a data. Okay, so how this replication of a data is made. Okay, so what is the need. Okay, so all these things we're going to study in the module number 3. Not only that, the business continuity and terminologies, planning and solutions, okay, and clustering and multi-pathing architecture to avoid the single point of failure. So what is the single point of failure? If the data is stored in only single point, assume, okay, if the data is stored in only a single point, then if there is a failure, if there is a failure, then automatically what happens, okay, so the data loss. Okay, so we completely lost our data. Okay, so what is there inside the memory. Okay, so instead of that, so what is the technology, what is the planning, what is the solution, okay, and how we are making a cluster of a multi-path architecture to avoid this kind of a failures. Okay, if there is a failure, single point failure, so how this is handled, okay, and what is the technology behind. Okay, so what is the strategy we have. So all these things we're going to understand. So not only that, backup and recovery methods. Okay, so if, okay, so of course we have a technology, we have an architecture, so we have a solution, so but still, so if some kind of a data failure occurs, okay, so then what is the measures, okay, to take a data backup. Okay, so what is the method we use. Okay, so for recurring of a data methods, okay, that is also we're going to understand. Then targets and topologies. Okay, so that we're going to study data duplication and backup in the virtualized environment. Okay, so there is a two environment, virtualized, non-virtualized. Okay, so data duplication and backup in the virtualized environment, how the data is duplicated. Okay, so if it is needed, okay, then how the data is we are taking a backup copy. Okay, so in the virtualized environment, so that is also very important point. Okay, so that we're going to study in the module number 3, targets and topologies. So that is also there. Then after that, fixed content and data archive. Okay, local replication in classic and virtual environment. Okay, so that is also we're going to study. Then remote replication in the classic and virtual environment. Okay, so how the replication of data is done in a classic and in a virtual environment, two different environments. Okay, the next one is the remote replication and the contains data protection in a 3-site remote replication and contains data protection. So all this we are talking, okay, in the we're discussing in the module number 3. So where, so our focus is on only how the data is replicated in virtual environment, how the data is replicated in the the classic environment. So how the data is taken a backup in the virtual environment, how the data is taken a backup in the classic environment. Okay, so what do you mean by the clustering, what do you mean by multi-pathing architecture. Okay, so how to avoid the single point failure. Okay, so that is our main focus in the module number 3. Okay, so then we go for the module number 4. So that is about the cloud computing. The model number 4 is about cloud computing characteristics, okay, and benefits. So cloud computing is there. So what are the characteristics of the cloud computing and what are the benefits of the cloud computing? Okay, so related to your SAN. Okay, so that we're going to discuss in the module number 4. So where this unit focuses on the business drives, okay, and definitions, essentials, characteristics, and phases of journey to the cloud. Okay, so business drivers. Okay, so driving a business. Okay, and the definitions and essential characteristics and phases of journey to the cloud. Okay, so that is our main focus in the module number 4. Then after that, also we study about this business drivers for cloud computing. Then definition of cloud computing, characteristics of the cloud computing, steps involved in a transaction from classic data center to the cloud computing environment service, and deployment models. Okay, so always we can't rely on the classic data environment or a classic data storage method. Okay, as and when the new technology comes, okay, so we can upgrade ourselves so that, so whatever the data we are storing in the classic environment, that can be easily transferred to the cloud environment. Then what are the steps, okay, so that are involved in transferring from a classic data center to the cloud computing environment, okay, and services and deployment models. What are the different deployment models we use in the cloud environment? That is one more topic which we're going to discuss in the model number 4. Then cloud infrastructure components, cloud migration considerations, okay. So cloud infrastructure components and cloud migration consideration, okay. So all the topics, so about the cloud and its characteristics and its benefits, okay, so related to your storage area network, okay, that we're going to understand in the model number 4, okay. So we go for a model number 5 now. So if we go for model number 5, it is about the securing and managing the storage infrastructure, okay. Yes, so we started with very basic, then we studied about storage network topology and virtualization, and we studied what is backup, what is archive of data, what is replication of the data, and we studied what is a cloud computing characteristics and benefits, okay. So how to transfer our whole data, okay, from the classic environment to the cloud environment. Now the main focus is on security and managing of storage infrastructure, okay. So the security plays very important role. So with doing so much of work, okay, so if we are unable to provide the security and unable to manage the storage data, so with a proper infrastructure, then it's a very big failure, okay. So because of that, the securing of data and managing a storage infrastructure also is very important, okay. So this chapter or this module is focused on the framework and domains of storage security um, along with the converging securities, implementation at storage and networking, then security threats. What are the security threats and countermeasures? Okay, in various domains. So then the security solutions for our FCSAN, IPSAN, and NAS. Okay, so all these things we're going to discuss in the module number 5. And also we discuss about the environmental managing various information infrastructures, okay, components in the classic and virtual environment, then information lifecycle management and the storage tiering cloud service management activities, okay. So all these things we're going to discuss in the model number 5. Also already I explained what is this course outcomes, okay, of our SAN. So identify key challenges in managing the information and analyzing different storage networking technology and virtualization. Then after that, explain components and the implementation of NAS. Then describe the CS architecture and type of architecture from this virtualization. Illustrate the storage infrastructures and managing the activities. Okay, so all are these are some of the course outcomes. Okay, our course is SAN. Outcome is these things. Okay, so after studying this course, so what you want to understand out of the course, okay, so that is called as a course outcome, okay. So now we go for the first topic, okay, so that is called as a introduction to the evolution of storage architecture. So for that, so we have one small ppt, okay, so presentation. So the introduction to the storage area and network, okay. So what is this introduction is about, okay. So let us understand, okay, so about the storage and network. The first we let us understand what is a SAN, okay. So storage area network is it is about, okay, the SAN is focused about the data asset, okay. So what is the data asset, then how to store data, okay. So that is a main a question comes to our mind, okay. So we have lots of storage devices nowadays which are available. So we have CDs, we have DVDs, we have USBs, we have a hard disk, okay. So we have so many different kind of memory chips are there, okay. So many different kind of storage device which are available, okay. But still, so we are putting a question called how to store a data, how to access a data. So the second question is very important, okay. how to access a data. Okay, so it may look very simple. Okay, so what is there in these questions? How to store a data, how to access the data. Okay, so it's not about the question, it's about so how this data is managed, how this data is handled, because we are talking about the storage area network, so which is accessing or which is storing a huge amount of a data. Okay, it is not about accessing a small amount of a data, it is about accessing a huge amount of a data, it is about accessing a huge amount of a storing a huge amount of a data. So that is a main concern here. Okay, so because of that, so we are questioning ourselves how to store data, how to access data, then after that how to manage data storage. That is very very important. Okay, so how to manage data storage. Okay, so the managing of data storing accessing is a different totally different operation. Okay, and managing of a data is completely, it is a double of this operation what we are performing, storing and accessing. Okay, it's a completely double. Okay, we can say. Okay, so that is called as managing of data storage. Okay, so what do you mean by managing here? Okay, so please assume. Okay, so if we have a very big social networking. Okay, so like our Facebook or Twitter. Okay, and so many other kind of WhatsApp. Okay, so many other kind of social networkings are there, uh, millions together. Okay, so crores together of people are using every day, every minute this kind of a social networking. Okay, when that much of a huge amount of a data it is getting collected every second, every minute. Okay, then storing, it's a big task, it's a very big task. Okay, accessing of a data, it's again a very big task. Okay, then managing, as I said, managing of this amount of a huge amount of a data. Okay, which is collecting every minute, every second. Okay, it's a very very huge task. Okay, so because of that we're taking a help of our storage area network. Okay, we are trying to understand. Okay, we are trying to explore more about the storage area network. Okay, so what is this storage area network? How this storage area network helps in storing a data, in accessing a data, in managing a data. Okay, so that is very very important. Okay, so that is because of we are putting these three questions. Okay, next one, the evolution in storage architecture. Okay, so let us understand. Okay, so what is this storage architecture and how it is evolved. Okay, so we know that. Okay, so from olden days. Okay, so we've been using this computers and all in 17s and 70s and 80s. Okay, so dedicated there is a dedicated model, the centralized management will be there, so the control will be there. Okay, so which was using, okay, so the particular kind of a storage device. Then after that in 1980s to 90s. Okay, that is intelligent controller. Please understand. Okay, that before there was a controller, now it is becoming intelligent. Okay, so now we are quoting it as an intelligent controller. Means what? So we are adding a new features. Okay, so to the already available controller. Okay, so that is we are creating the client server model. We are creating the distributed data management challenges. Okay, we are creating also like some server will be there, client will be there. Okay, so request to response. Okay, so so many other things we are trying to implement, or so many other different type of architectures we used. Okay, so in 80s and 90s. Okay, in a new era. Okay, the storage servers. Okay, so the dedicated storage servers. Okay, so we prefer so the completely your processing is totally different. Okay, so totally in a different operation, and the storage of a data is totally a different operation. Okay, so like that we are just bifurcating the two different operations of our computer system, the processing the data, accessing the data processing and data storage. Okay, so then we can expect this kind of a dedicated servers for data storage in different places. Okay, so need not to be in the same place. Okay, so if I'm processing my data, I'm processing all my data, all my projects. Okay, somewhere in Bangalore. Okay, I may what I may put my data center. Okay, so where, so dedicated servers are there for storing a data somewhere in Delhi. Okay, so and I may take input from some systems or some kind of a computer system. Okay, somewhere in Chennai. Okay, so like this, so we can completely distribute our computer system. Okay, and still and still, so the user should feel like, okay, is working with a system, okay, so which is in a single place, okay. So you should not feel the difference of distributing the different operations of a computer system, okay. So that is how, so we use our storage area network, okay. So that is how, so we use our storage area network for distributed systems, okay. So where we have networked model are there, then global data access, okay, then a broader management is there, okay. So all this comes under this new era of a system, okay. So this is how the evolution of a storage architecture is happening, okay. So every day, okay, so there's a change, every day new technology is coming, okay. So every day new things are introduced, okay. So now we go for the next one, the problem we are facing, okay. So what is the problem, okay. So why we are focusing, or why we are switching onto this storage area network, of course, so as I said, okay, so because of the demand, okay, because of the need, because of the requirement, okay, of our different kind of a what the application which we are using, okay. It may be social networking, it may be any kind of a government getting, okay, so computerized, okay, government sector, or insurance companies, banking sector, okay. So they are completely, okay, switched on to the computer thing, okay. And so many things are there, and cloud data things, okay, like so many things are there. So all these are forcing us to look for a new technology, so where we store the data, we access the data, and we properly manage the data, properly, okay. So that is a very very key term here, properly managing of the data, okay. So that is can be handled, so using a technology of this storage area network, okay. So the problem we are facing, okay, so in the our computer system is a scalability, okay. Then the second is called as connectivity, next one is called as the 24/7 availability, and the next one is called as a high performance, and last one is called as easy management, okay. So many things are there, okay. Not only this, but simply we have still listed some 5 different kind of problems, so which are very very important, which are very very major problems we can say. So one is called as scalability, next one is called as connectivity, and availability, then high performance, and easy management, okay. So all these 5 points are very very important, okay. So all these points are required, okay, whenever we say computer system, okay. So scalability, rapidly growing data volume, okay. So as I said, so we can't completely, okay, so the future is completely about the data, okay. So there is no doubt at all, okay. So completely we are dealing with the data, okay. So each and every bit of a data about each and every person, okay, it is recorded, okay. Your voice, your telephone calls, okay, your messages, your text messages, okay, your video calls, okay, what the things you browse, okay. So what are the things you send as a mail, okay. So each and every bit of a data is recorded, okay. When rapidly growing data volume, okay, so much of data is getting collected from each and every person, okay, from each and every person, then it's a huge amount of a data which is rapidly growing, okay, in so much of a very big way, okay. So then, so where we are for thinking about the scalability of a data, where we are thinking about managing of this huge amount of a data. So because, so we end up with, okay, so simply dumping a data, okay. So and we are, if we are unable to manage the data, it's completely the data completely goes waste, okay. So because of that, the scalability of a data is very very important, okay. So that is called as the problem which we are facing as the first problem, okay. So for this rapidly growing data in a huge volume, okay. So the second is called as the connectivity. Yes, so nowadays everybody depends on their mobile phones for data, mobile phones for all the operations, mobile phones are on the for their for mail checking, for their browsing, for their office work, for their making a call, okay. So and so many other things we do, okay. So when we are depending so much on this connectivity, okay, when we are depending so much on this connectivity, distributed data sharing, okay, it's very very important thing here, okay. So when so much of dependency is there on this connectivity of a data, and assume, okay, if there is no any data sharing, if it is not distributed, okay, then what happens, okay. So data is not sharing, we end up with generating the same data every day, replica of a data, replica of a data, replica of a data, okay. So when you end up with generating a replica of a data, okay, there is no any sharing, okay, there is no any data distribution. So automatically, so unnecessarily we are increasing the data volume. Okay, the huge data we are unnecessarily collecting. Okay, that is not required. That is not required. So to solve this problem, we should have some kind of a technique, some kind of a technology. So where we are trying to understand about the connectivity, okay, and we are trying to understand about the distribution. We are trying to understand about the sharing of a data. Okay, so that is the one more problem. Okay, so which we need to address. And next one is called availability. Yes, so availability is a very important thing. Nobody is nowadays. Okay, so 24 by 7 everybody is working. Okay, 24 by 7 everybody is working. Okay, so virtually we can say, or simply we can say that we work starting from morning from 8 to 5 o'clock, 8 to some 6 o'clock. But still, okay, after 6 o'clock also, so many people are working. Okay, so even of course after going home also, we used to do some office work and all. Okay, we used to send some mail, we used to send some messages. Okay, we used to use this online classes, online coaching, okay, online seminars, webinars and all. So we used to listen, or we used to conduct. Okay, so when everybody is busy, okay, everybody is working. Okay, so 24 by 7, the availability of a data, okay, for every minute, for every second, no single point failure. Okay, no single point failure. Okay, if that much of a availability is required, then who is handling, who is taking care of this much of a availability? Okay, so is there only one dedicated computer can do it? No, it's not possible at all. Okay, then so can we use this architecture, okay, which is available for our computer systems to do this kind of operation? No, it's not possible at all. Okay, so because it is a limited architecture, it's a limited kind of a design. So what we are using in our computer systems, okay, so which is completely unable to handle this much of a data volume, this much of the connectivity, this much of availability. Okay, so because of that, we should think, okay, we should think about a different kind of the network, a different kind of architecture to handle this kind of a situation. So that is called as a availability. High performance. Okay, so yes, scalability is there, it's good. Connectivity is there, good. Availability is there, good. But performance is not there. Then what is the use? Then there is no use at all of this architecture. Because of that, the performance also plays very important role. Okay, so we should design our architecture in such a way that we should give the high performance. Okay, we should give the high performance. Okay, and finally we have this easy management. Okay, yes, everything we want easy. Okay, everything we want easy. Okay, we should not what get into any kind of a trouble. Okay, so everything should be managed in our fingertips. Okay, like that. So we always expect. So when that is the case, okay, so with so much of work, so much of very good architecture we have, but still, if we are not able to manage it easily, if we are not able to manage it easily, then again it's a fail. So because of that, so we should also include, okay, the easy management also. Okay, so all these are some of the different problems, okay, we come across. Okay, so to solve all this problem, so we think about this new kind of a network, that is especially for storage. Okay, so that is called as the storage area network. Okay, so we go for the next slide, the server attached storage, that is SAS. Okay, so we shortly we call it as SAS, that is called the server attached storage. Okay, so what is this server attached storage? So as you can see in this diagram, so we have this personal computer, so then which is connected to our server attached storage. Okay, so this is my server. Okay, this is my server, so which I'm calling it as SAS. And so there is a storage device attached to this server. Okay, and so completely this personal computer is accessing this server. Okay, and through the server, so we are transferring a data to the storage system, and we are accessing a data from the storage system. Okay, so this is one of the small example. And we have one more example, that is called as the channel attached. Okay, so to the mainframe system. Okay, so this is also one of the diagram which shows how this server attached storage systems, okay, so can be represented using a small diagram. Okay, so we go for the next slide. the server attached storage, how to share data. Okay, how the data is shared. Okay, in the server attached storage, each has own copy. Okay, each has own copy, one copy share. Okay, so what is this each has own copy means? The each server is having a own copy. The scalability, okay, it's poor. Okay, so we can't scale it further. The availability is okay, availability is there. The performance also is okay. Okay, then we can say the management, how to keep a data synchronized. Okay, so that is the question mark. Okay, so management. Then connectivity. So the connectivity, because we have one server, so there we connected only one computer. Okay, so there is no point in talking about the connectivity. Then after that, so one copy share, one copy share. So here, so we can have scalability. We can call it as it's okay. Then after that, availability, a single point failure. Okay. So then after that, performance not that good. Okay. So if I have only one copy and one share, then after that, management, how to make backup without affecting the server. That is the question mark. Okay, so how to make a backup without affecting the service. Okay, so sorry, service. Okay, so that is a question mark. And connectivity, if it comes, okay, system are dependent. Okay, so these are some of the comparisons about the scalability and about the availability, about the performance, about the management, and about the connectivity. Okay, inside the this SAS, that is called server attached storage system. Okay, then after that we should go for the next one, that is called as the network attached storage system. Okay, so we studied a very basic kind of a attached storage system, that is called server attached storage system. So where one server is there, one system is there. Okay, so they are connected, and we studied what are the different drawbacks of that server attached storage system. So in case of this availability, in case of what is the scalability, in case of management and all. Now we go for the next one, that is called the network attached storage system. Okay, so in detail we study all this, okay, in the coming classes. So it is a very small introduction we can say. So that is called as the network attached storage system. What is this network attached storage system means? Okay, the network attached storage system means, so here our focus is on network. Okay, so and why we are focusing on network base, because our subject is called storage area network. Okay, what is the advantage of using this network attached storage system? Okay, so we have a web server is there, that is connected. Then after that there is a one PC is there. Okay, so personal computer connected, there's one more computer is connected. Then after that application server is there, so web server is differently connected, application server is differently connected. There is one more PC, personal computer is connected. Then after that a database server is there, this also connected. The network attached storage NAS. Okay, so this is separately connected. Then local area network message protocols, we use a protocol called TCP IP. Okay, and net bias. Okay, so this TCP IP protocol we use for making all this connection. Okay, so how it is possible? Okay, and why it is possible? Because we are talking about network here. We are talking about network here. We are not talking about server attached storage. We are talking about network attached storage. When we say network, so many different things we can do. Okay, on the network. And so if we are able to design our network architecture in such a way that, so which can store or which can what which can manage a huge amount of data transfer, then it is called as a storage area network. So mainly if we design the network architecture in such a way that which is focusing on storage, which works for storage, then it is called as the storage area network. Here it is a very very simple network. Okay, so it is a very simple or very commonly used network, that is called a local area network. So to which we connected a web server, to which we connected database server, to which we connected application server, to which we connected different PCs, we connected our network attached storage also we connected, and we using a TCP/IP protocol for data transfer. Okay, so this is a very common what a network. And if I want to design, if I want to design dedicated network for the storage, then it is called as a storage area network. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, so here we can understand, so very very small a difference between the storage area network and a very small difference between our what the normal network. Okay, so that is our main intention of this diagram. Okay, so let us continue. Okay, so we have NAS. Okay, so that is there. Okay, in the next slide. Okay, so there are so many slides are there. Okay, so we have this storage network again. Then after that, we have the storage area network. Okay, one more diagram. Then SAN versus NAS. Okay, that comparison is there. And what is fiber channel? Benefits of SAN is there, and benefits of SAN, easy migration. Okay, and a summary. Okay, so many things are there. So that we're going to continue in the next class. Okay, so for this class, so we started. Okay, so let us go to the syllabus. So we started about a SAN, that is the storage system. Also in the module number 1. Then after that, so we studied, okay, so storage network technology and virtualization. Then we studied the backup and archive and replication methods. Then we studied the cloud computing characteristics and benefits. Then we study the securing and managing of a storage infrastructure. Okay, so what do you mean by securing? What do you mean by managing? Then after that, so we started our introduction to the storage and network, in which we studied the first slide as what is SAN about. Okay, so what is SAN about? Okay, and what are the different this one question comes to our mind when we talk about the SAN, that is how to store data, how to access data, how to manage data. Okay, so then after that we studied about evolution of storage architecture. Then we studied about this problem we are facing, okay, in the storage architecture. And also we studied about this server attached storage. Okay, and also we studied about this SAS, server attached storage. Okay, so when it is compared to scalability, when it's compared to availability, when it's compared to performance, when it's compared to management, when it's compared to connectivity. Okay, so what are the different output we get? Okay, so if I use a server attached storage, okay, system, then after that we studied this network attached storage system. Okay, so what is the network attached storage system means? Okay, and how it is different from the server attached storage system, and why we are mainly focusing on network here. Okay, so that will also we studied. Okay, so so we'll continue in the next class. Okay, so thank you students, so thank you for listening. Please in the chat box, please enter your USN number for the attendance. All of you, please enter your USN number in the chat box for the attendance, please. Thank you. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you, Anushruti. Thank you, Akanksh. Then Gautam. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Adarsh. Thank you, Narendra. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Kalyan. Madri. Thank you. Please enter your USN number, please. Thank you, Abhilash. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, students. Thank you. If you're done with your USN entry in the chat box, okay. So thank you for that. Thank you, students. Thank you. Thank you, Parmesh Vinayak.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you. Okay, we'll meet in the next class.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye bye, sir.